Welcome back to another RX Muscle Spotlight with my good friend Bartley Weaver, and he's joining us today, not as a classic physique pro, which he is, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, but as one of the top 10 greatest hot dog eaters in the world right now. Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest that occurs every year on July 4th. You actually got an invitation, participated, and ate 29 dogs in 10 minutes, placing, what placed you, seventh?
Tied for seventh in the world.
That's awesome. How'd you get invited to that thing? I know you've been eating professionally, but I thought it was like very hard politically to get invited to that contest.
Well, see, basically the last few years, the qualification stuff has kind of gone by the wayside.
Okay.
Because all the COVID stuff, you know, back in the day, my very first qualifier that I went to was in 2019 before the Cubs-Cardinals game in center field.
Okay.
And so we were throwing down dogs then, and that's the first hot dog contest I ever been to, you know, and I got third at the qualifier. I was like, well, there's probably a little more to this other than just fasting and going to the competition hungry. So I started asking around, and I was like, well, if I'm going to make it, I've got to win one of these one day. So I got to get better. So that's when we started the water training for capacity and the jawser size to get the jaw muscle strong. I mean, it's perfect.
So what do you do for your jaws? I know the water trick. You drink a gallon of water every morning, right, to stretch your stomach.
Yeah, you do that, and the faster you can drink it just relates to the pliability of your stomach muscles and how fast you can.
Let me ask you a question, because I have an uncanny ability to drink large quantities of fluid very quickly and not throw them up or anything like that. Like I used to fill up a blender full of 12 eggs, oatmeal, apple juice, whey protein. I would just gulp the whole thing down. I mean, with no problem whatsoever. I mean, does that tell you I have potential as an eating champion?
Well, I'll tell you what, that hey, there's definitely some capacity. Think of all those 12 meals a day you used to eat. You know, that belly was good and full at some point.
But I could still do it. I could literally probably take a gallon of water and I could probably gulp the whole thing down and in probably a minute, under a minute, probably do that.
Hey, I want to see if it's under a minute. That's impressive.
Yeah. All right.
I think before I started my training, I think I did it in like a minute and 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And then after about a month of training, I got it down to 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Yeah, I think I could do it. I think I could probably do it in 30 seconds. Obviously, I'd have to do it in a bigger, like if you do it out of a jug, the water doesn't come out fast enough. So you got to kind of put it in a blender or something like that and do it,
Well, see, I'm not sure if you got to watch the Pink Lemonade chugging championship before the hot dogs. Yeah, they had it on the same stage. And I think the guy set the record with like 24 seconds.
And how much did he do in 24 seconds?
Well, they did a gallon of pink lemonade, but they had the big jars where you could kind of bend them and funnel it back into you. So I'm like, well, that's what I need to do next time. Because
was it real lemonade or was it like sugar-free lemonade?
They said it was Nathan's pink lemonade, so I'm sure it was the good stuff.
Because I'd want to do it, but I don't know if I want all that sugar in my body. Like it's got to be like 500 grams of sugar, right? You figure in there.
Hey, that's like me doing the World Donut Hole Championship last month.
Oh my! What was that?
Think about 176 donut holes in 8 minutes.
Oh my God! How sick were you after?
I wasn't bad, but I will confess that I didn't want to mess with the diabetes the next morning. I'm just like you checking the fasted blood sugar, man. I would have had a heart attack if I woke up and checked it. So I try to get rid of about half of it. I wasn't sick, but
I was going to say,
I care enough.
You throw some of that stuff up sometimes?
Yeah. I mean, when it comes down to it at the end of the day, you're going to take pride over your health. What you want to go with, So, I mean, not every time, but, in an instance where you eat 6 pounds of glazed dough, in 8 minutes, I'm just like, maybe I need to help it out a little bit.
I got to test out and see how quickly I can drink a gallon of liquid. I'm going to try like a gallon of water and really test so you think if I could do under 30 seconds, I could potentially have some, maybe some.
Oh, without a doubt. That's, I think anything, I can casually drink one about 40 if I'm pushing it. I think I can get high 20s if I had the right jug. But like you said, those gallon jugs, it kind of gets that funnel going at the end, and you can't. It's hard to get it all out.
See, I don't. I think I can drink the whole gallon like continuously. Like I don't think I even need to take a breath. I haven't done it. But I think I just know what. Sometimes you just know what you can do and what you can't do. But I'm impressed when you do stuff like that with the donuts, because it's so nauseatingly sweet that you have to you can't even taste it, right? I bet you don't even smell it when you're doing it, right?
Well, see, I always keep different flavors of liquid there. That way I've got something different going the whole time. Like, for instance, I had Powerade Zeros for the donut holes, because it wasn't a ducking contest. It was, hold your jug. And then, so I'm like this, switching in between flavors. Okay. But at Nathan's, I had 8 cups. You got to tell them how many cups you wanted, and if you wanted regular water in them, or you're just going to bring your own. So the pro tip there is never settle for room temperature water when you can take hot water in.
Oh, hot water is better. Okay.
Yeah. It definitely disintegrates the bun a little bit faster. So I had a bunch of Igloo thermoses they sent me, red, white, and blue thermoses, and took them and got the hotel scalding water and transported them. And about 5 hours later, I was pouring it into my cup, and it was perfect temperature. And I was like, let's go.
Do you practice eating like hot dogs for the contest, or do you just go there and do it?
Yeah, I did 2 practice runs here at my apartment. I got a nice little balcony, and I've got a table I bought off of Amazon. I just got it set out there. It just stays out there. and that's where I take my food. I did 200 Krispy Kreme donut holes in 8 minutes out there. That was my practice round for that.
Oh my God.
And then I did 2 hot dog practice runs. One was 30 and one was 29. So I was there pretty close on what I did.
It's almost like you don't want to practice it, because of you do all those donut holes, 200 of them, and you get so nauseous. You get that feeling that I never want to eat these things again, right?
No, I agree with you 100%. Now, I told myself I'd do hot dogs twice, and that was it, because I don't even love hot dogs.
Yeah, I don't even want. I don't even want to have one hot dog. Right? I don't even want to eat one hot dog. Right? Exactly.
I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I did pumpkin pie last year.
That's
I did,
good.
9.5 pounds in 8 minutes, and I do that any day of the week, because that was actually
fun,
delicious.
Yeah. Let me ask you about the hot dog thing, because I'm trying to think in my head. You did 29 hot dogs. Joey Chestnut did 63. Okay. And I'm trying to think what it feels like in your stomach, because you're not really chewing these things. You're kind of swallowing them. And so they're I mean, when you get to 15, what does it feel like, at 15 hot dogs?
Well, I'll tell you the difference between Joey Chestnut and I is I can do about 2 gallons of water to stretch my stomach.
Right.
Where he can do 4 gallons.
Jeez.
So
Are you serious?
That's what I heard. I mean, I was talking to him on the bus. I wasn't trying to get all his secrets, but I was like, I was asking him about the vacuums, because he understands the stomach anatomy so well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He studied it for the past 20 years to be the best, But so he's always doubled me in any competition that we've done. So I was just like, hey, as long as you don't triple me, I'll be all right.
So is it that he can swallow things faster, or he just has more capacity to hold the stuff? Is that what it is?
Or both?
Well, he's got a bite about like a hammerhead shark or something. I mean, he's got a bite on him, and he's got some sharp teeth, and I wouldn't want to be bit by him, put it that way.
Well, how do you know he's got sharp teeth? Does he sharpen his teeth? I mean, what does that mean?
No, I mean, you can just see him. I mean, he's put some work in on those suckers. And
do you think he files his teeth to be sharper?
No, I don't think that. I just think genetically he's just got sharper teeth.
And that helps?
Well, definitely when it comes to biting and shredding stuff down.
His teeth doesn't look very good to me. He looks like he's got he's been chewing on rocks or something like that with those teeth.
That's what I'm saying. They're built to eat.
Oh, I got you. Well, he's not a young man. Look, he's not a young man anyway. He's been doing this for, like you said, 20 years. He's been winning this contest. That's
yeah,
crazy.
but his capacity is definitely one of the main factors because, you know, I'm chewing up my stuff pretty well compared to him, but he's, you know, it's like playing Tetris. You know, his tank is about that big and mine's like that. So I got to chew up littler blocks while he can just throw down the logs. You know.
Oh, see, he's swallowing almost whole, is what you're saying.
I've seen him just gush water into the back of his mouth with a water bottle and just shoot it back and just like, hey, let it go in there. There's plenty of room.
That's crazy. The whole food eating thing is kind of insane. I actually like it. I really would want to do it, but I'm so health conscious now that I'm like, I don't want to eat this. Can't they have like a sushi eating contest or something where the food is actually good for you so that you don't feel like, you know, or a salmon eating contest or something like that? Because I don't want to eat donuts. I don't want to eat 400 donuts, you know?
Hey, the World Rib Eating Championships coming up, I think either end of this month or next month. That's pretty good.
That's a lot of red meat though, too. That's probably not the best.
That's a lot of sugary barbecue sauce.
I should probably like sponsor, like put like my Fiberlize product should sponsor these events so that you can take a dump afterwards after you eat all this food.
I know it. Hey, I took some of my fiber up there with me, you know, and all the eaters were loving it, you know, because hey, this, you know, competitive eating, to have your digestion in midsection on point pre-contest is just as important as bodybuilding.
You know, I was going to say, the guys now, when I see this lineup that Tyler just put up there of the eating guys at the Nathans, everyone's like lean and ripped and in shape, whereas 20 years ago, there was all fat slobs up there.
No, I know it. I think, you know, when you have a big planned binge like that once a week, if you're training or something, you've got to be cognizant of the calories that are, you know, the surplus of calories that's coming in. So I think there's a lot of fasting that guys are doing now, you know, just to offset that, and everybody's active, you know, too.
Now, is it hard to, I mean, you're outside here in front of Nathan's in Coney Island, and you got the crowd there, and you got TV cameras and people filming. Does that change the eating perspective? Because this is probably the biggest event you've ever been at, I would assume, right?
Right. Yeah, for the most part, I think I handled the pressure pretty well. I think it was just so big and extravagant, it didn't even feel real anyway. So I was just up there having fun. I mean, ESPN cameras in your face every time you turn, and you know, I was like, wow, get up here and hit a few poses. You know, I've hit a few poses on stage before.
Now you tied with 29. Were you kind of pissed that you didn't get 30?
Yeah, I mean, if I knew that it was that close, I would have chipmunked at least half a hot dog somewhere, you know. And that's what they say, as long as it's in your mouth at the end of time, then you're good, as long as you end up swallowing it.
Now, do you have to hold it down for any amount of time, or can you, like, what if you just like spontaneously throw up when the event's over? Is that okay?
Well, I would make sure that they said you're good to go first. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to do it on. I wouldn't want to jeopardize it. One time I was doing the World Mutton Eating Championship, and the guy right beside me, you know, in regular pro circuit competitions, they'll let like one or two local amateurs get on the table that signed up for it on the website, you know. Yeah. And he was right beside me. It was me and him were the two amateurs at the time. Okay. And he projectile barfed about mid contest. And I looked over at him. I was like, no, man. And he said, and I was like, well, it looked the same coming out as it did going in. So keep on trucking, baby.
What was it? Is meat tougher than, like, you know, carbohydrate sources? I would think, right? Because it's so heavy, right?
Yes and no. It depends on how hard the bread is and if you can dunk it. Okay. You know, I've done some bread-related contests like the World Pepperoni Roll Championship. It didn't have any sauce and cheese in the middle. It was just a pepperoni stick. Oof. It was like a Subway 6-inch. Just with a pepperoni stick down the middle. So you're like, dang, what am I? My jaws were wore out on that one.
Did you eat 10 pounds of cheese recently? I think I saw some kind of like cheese pizza or something like that. What was that? It's on his Instagram.
So my buddy has a place there in Queens, Bayside, Queens. Okay. And every time I'm in town, he's like, come by the shop, man. You got to eat. You got to eat. So I went over there, and of course he watched me eat 29 hot dogs the day before, so he wanted to make me a big spread. He didn't want me to go hungry, you know, and I come in there and I was like, dang, what is all this? He said, that one right there is 10 pounds if you think you can eat it. And I was like, come on, dude, you trying to kill me. Yeah, he had three pizzas for me and 3 sandwiches.
Did you eat that? Did you eat that whole pizza?
No, I gave half of it away at the airport.
It actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks delicious.
I don't know if I would eat more than one piece, but it definitely looks good.
Yeah, it was a lot of cheese, that's for sure.
What is that on the outside? It looks like some kind of seeds or something like that.
Yeah, it's something like a sesame.
Black
sesame. Had like some type of sweet Thai sauce.
That looks delicious.
That's really good.
Yeah, it was good.
What's the name of the pizza place?
Crave It with a K.
Okay. Check it out if you're.
I don't know if Tyler can probably pull up the.
Yep.
Yeah, if I was
still
living in New York, I'd go visit that place. That place looks great.
Yeah.
So now you placed top 5 at a pro show. Your first pro shows this year.
Yeah, man.
You have to be pretty thrilled with that. You just turned pro in Classic Physique last year.
Yeah, like I've told people before, you know, anything past turning pro is a blessing for me. I mean, I'm just grateful to have turned pro, and I got my first Olympia point at the San Diego Pro.
That's
so
awesome.
got fifth there, and next month I started training for the donut holes.
That's awesome. And you know, another great thing, you shot a TV show in New York, right, recently too.
Yeah, we can't say much about that, but you know how it goes. And
no, I'm just saying, but you're
non-disclosure agreements.
You're working.
Oh yeah, hey, listen, I'm trying, Dave. I'm trying to be the Hulk like you, baby. I remember you had a few Hulk segments back in the day.
Yeah, the problem is nowadays everything's digitalized. You know, it's not fun anymore. Like they can't actually dress anyone up anymore. You know.
Yeah.
Like the old.
Well, I think that's actually better for me because I'm in Kentucky and there's nothing around me. You know what I mean? True. I got. You know, so
well, that's
Mike
pretty good that you landed a part in New York City, all living in Kentucky. You know, so that's great.
Yeah, I've been to New York 3 times in the last month and a half, man. I've been need a little satellite office up there.
You might have to move. You might have to move to New York. You know, pretty soon.
Hey, maybe you can go in on a pizza shop with me somewhere in New York.
Let me ask you this question. You're 33. You're doing great in the physique. You're doing good in the eating contest. What do you like better, bodybuilding or eating?
I like training for bodybuilding better.
Okay, you don't love the competing, is what you're saying.
And
you got a great physique.
It's both. Hey, thank you. It's both different extremes. My passion lays in competing in classic physique. You know, it's a around the clock job. You know, preparation the whole year just for the stage time. But I'll tell you what, it's fun to get up there and let your belly hang sometimes. And it just, you know, I've made more money eating than I have bodybuilding.
I'm sure.
I mean, that's for sure.
Do they ever have like a beer drinking contest, like any of these eating things, or no?
Not in ours. I'm with Major League Eating, so we have to do only sanctioned stuff with that organization. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure you can find one.
Yeah. Whatever happened to that Asian guy who was always giving Joey Chestnut a run for his money?
Kobayashi?
Yeah, Kobayashi there. What happened to him?
We'll see. I think it was about 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Is when he was hot on the scene, and then that's when Joey started coming up. And back then they were competing in the 40s, you know, high 40s, low 50s. And now, you know, Joey last year hit 76. So, I mean, he's almost doubled his score since him and Kobayashi kind of went after it. And he kind of just put Kobayashi into retirement because
I thought there was some kind of political thing going on with Kobayashi. Was in another organization or something like that. Did something happen like with that?
Yeah, well, you know, to compete in Athens, you have to be a part of Major League Eating.
Right.
And Kobayashi didn't want to sign another 3-year contract with them because that limits you to how much money you can make. Gotcha. You know, like he would have to be in America for all these events to make money versus, you know, overseas.
So is he doing well overseas? Does he make money eating over there? Or you don't know?
I don't know what he does.
Oh,
I know.
All right. I'm just wondering.
I know he comments every year.
Oh,
and
he
says
does?
he can beat Joey. I'm like, hey,
they should have a rematch
Joey.
between these guys. They should do like a pay-per-view special or something.
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. Pay-per-view.
Because no one's close to Joey Chestnut, so they got to have someone who could knock him off. You know. How old is Joey now? He's got to be my age, right? 50s, right?
No, he's a little younger than that. He's in his, I think he's low 40s.
Oh, he is? Okay. He must have started very young then.
Well, yeah, he started right out of the gate, like 19, 20 years old,
Wow.
is when he came on the scene.
Gotcha.
So he's had a whole lifetime.
Are you like aspiring to be a Joey Chestnut? I mean, do you want to like one day beat him? Is that when you train for eating, do you say, I can beat this guy?
No.
No. You don't even want to try to beat him. In other words, that's not in your wheelhouse.
Well, here's the thing, Dave. I'm crazy enough that if I put my mind to it, I would start to believe it. But see, that would require year-long distension, and I hate having my belly just sticking out.
But does your belly stick out from doing the 4 gallons of water a day? Or, I mean,
oh yeah,
it
yeah,
does?
no, it definitely does.
Okay.
Like the past couple of weeks when I really would start pushing the limits on my stretching,
right.
I could tell all the way from my love handles all the way around the front under my belly button. It was protruding real hard, and so now I'm back on the vacuums, and I told my, everybody gets afraid that they're not going to be able to pull the distension in. I mean, conscientious bodybuilders nowadays know that you can't have a gut. It's impossible.
No, not in classic, especially,
Yeah. So I'm already pushing the limits a little bit, but my main thing, I'll probably do it again next year, as long as I'm invited. I'll probably do it again next year, but it's a hard life. See, I would rather do an hour on the Stairmaster than do my gallon chugs.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah.
I mean,
see, if I was doing the eating, if I was involved in this, thank God I'm not, because I'm an extremist. I would not be able to sleep at night. I'd be like, I got to beat this fucking guy Chestnut. I can't do the contest if I can't beat him. I'll drink 5 gallons if I have to stretch. You know what I mean? Like, I have that crazy mentality. Like, I don't want to be just like another one of the guys. You know?
Yeah.
So it's hard. Especially now that you're at that level where you're top 10 in the world.
Right.
It's like, I got to knock this guy off. This guy can't keep winning. Someone's got to beat this guy.
Well, I tell you what. I told him to retire after this year. I said, Joey, hey, you might as well retire. You're not going to outdo that performance where you choke out a protester and still beat everybody by 20. I mean,
what do you do?
On a broke leg. You haven't seen it?
No. What do you do?
Oh my goodness, Tyler! Pull up Joey. Just type in Joey Chestnut. Type in Joey Chestnut choke. It'll come up.
He choked out a spectator?
Oh, it was epic moment in sports history.
I don't know how I missed it. So someone tried to grab him while he was in the middle of eating?
Okay, so they had some type of vegan protesters in Star Wars helmets. They had a Darth Vader was the main one and had 2 stormtroopers with him. So they had some exposed Smithfield Death Star or something. It has to do with cruelty to animals and processing food plants or something, which is where Nathan's hot dogs are made. Apparently.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And so they were in the crowd and they came up. I didn't see him come up, but I heard some commotion. I looked around.
Oh yeah.
And there's
he took him down.
Look at that.
Well, he interrupted he was in the middle of the contest. Yeah. He's probably got pretty angry.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. He jumped him down.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a choke so much as a.
You know what? But he handled him very well. He took him out.
He eliminated the threat.
Yeah.
So I like it.
It looked like he broke the guy's neck, is what it looks like.
Little choke grab. Look at that.
Yeah, but you can't see it right there. But Joey's got a broke leg and a ruptured tendon on that right leg.
Oh, at that time he was suffering.
Yeah. He came in on crutches on ESPN.
Wow.
He came in on crutches, and
wow.
So they came over there and kind of.
What I'd like to know is how the heck did that guy get through all the security there?
I know.
I mean, how much they
had to jump a gate. They had to jump a gate and jump on stage. And there was like 6 security guys at the back of the stage. I'm like, that, you know, I turned around
I think
and saw
someone
one
paid
of
someone
them.
off there, probably.
Security theater.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Well, Bartley, very entertaining interview. I'm more impressed with obviously your top 5 placing in the classic physique division, but
Hey,
I
thank
love
you.
talking about eating contests because it's so amazing that with some of the things that some of these guys can do that it baffles me. But
Well, Dave, here's the ultimate goal.
okay,
You know, I set out to be the first pro bodybuilder, pro eater. So once I did that, I was like, well, I want to go to Olympia and I want to go to Nathan's. So
You did
I've got Nathan's. I got Nathan's now. Just going to need a few more points.
there you go. You better start hitting a couple more shows this year because you got to get to that Olympia. And we'll
I
get you
know.
back
I got to
on.
pull his stomach in anyway. So
There you go.
might as well go at it.
Congratulations on the hot dog eating, 7th in the world. That's nothing to snarf at. And what's the best hot dog out there? Is Nathan's the best hot dog in your mind?
Yeah, Nathan's is the best. I think it's what we ate were natural beef casings. So it's got great flavor to it. It's not the mushy hot dog.
Gotcha.
You know, it's got a little pop to it. And it's so good, Dave, that I got a tattoo of one last night.
No way. Wow, that is hardcore. That's pretty crazy. It looks a little like, well, at first it looked like a penis on your like, but I see it now on the tattoo here that Tyler pulled up on your Instagram. That's pretty cool. You'll never forget that now, right?
Yeah, it's got the same bandana and sunglasses.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, Bartley, great talking to you again, and best of luck. Hopefully we see you at the Olympia later this year.
Sounds good, Dave. Appreciate the opportunity, bud.
All right, guys, and that's going to take us to the end of another episode of RX Muscle Spotlight. I'm Dave Palumbo. We'll see you next time. That's awesome.